Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be watching the quarterfinals of the NA monthly finals, Space Station Gaming versus Code OG. So Bobby versus OG. This was, well, Bobby and OG, they used to be teammates for years and years, and apparently it's the first time that they were facing off against each other in the monthly finals, which I didn't know. So it's going to be, of course, a really banger game. Of course, we've got Sans and Chino, two absolute goats. We've got second best and Charles, so we've just got a lot of rivalry here. Charles, of course, being on Chino's team last year. I mean, they're all really good friends, right? But there's still rivalry, right? You want to beat your friends. You want the bragging rights. So they're going to go with El Primo here. So one thing I thought about El Primo straight away, they wanted to go El Primo because they were maybe scared of like another tank from Code OG. You know, with the draft and how it goes, typically, you can see both teams. Like Finks, he's a good mid-control brawler. Stu, good mid-control brawler. Larry and Laurie, decent against tanks and a good thrower. Juju, kind of the same. And then they want to go a goal scorer, which is El Primo. But then again, we want to go El Primo because they're probably scared of like a Hank. They're probably scared of an Ash. Probably scared of some type of tank buster. I don't know, you name it. And we're going to go with Cordelius as a counter pick to El Primo. So I do like Cordelius into Primo. He is one of the best counters by far. Sometimes it can be a little bit risky though, because Cordelius isn't the best brawler in the meta. I mean, he might struggle. Well, he definitely is going to struggle against Stu. Stu is a good counter to Cordelius. And then Larry and Laurie, still not completely the best, but a good Cordelius can pop off. And what I really like about Cordelius on Super Beach, we've seen for years and years. I mean, he's drastically gone down in the meta, but when Cordelius used to be one of the best brawlers, he used to be literally the must pick in Super Beach. Especially, I know Space Station Gaming love Cordelius himself. I remember loads of times I'm picking Cordelius on Super Beach, because what happens is, say if one person goes down on SSG here, then you know, it's a 3 versus 2, right? But then Cordelius puts someone in the Shadow Realm, then it's a 2 versus 1, and it's just so easy to score in that situation. It happens so many times on Super Beach in particular. So you can see they're going to go for the matchups here. It's a good refresher here because I am recording the day after, by the way, guys. It's an absolute banger. I don't want to ruin it, but this was like the best game of the monthly final. So I thought I had to do it on the main channel because it was just too good to not commentate over again. So we've got the Juju here. We're going to see the matchups. Juju's going to try and stand the Larry as much as possible because Juju will outrange the Larry and Laurie. And then once she gets close, you know, she's got invisibility, she's got a shield. She just outclasses Larry, well, the twins, just so easily right now. Finks against Stu. I mean, it's quite an even matchup, I would say. Once Stu gets close, Finks can struggle, but Finks does have this gadget, and OG will use it quite well to just gadget backwards if needed to regain some ammo, and also just not allow the Stu to push up. And you can see the super, of course, is going to counter the Stu or any type of thrower. So I think probably the strategy here with Code OG, I think it'd be just be patient, because El Primo is going to be really good once he gets his super. Just be patient. I mean, you can wait to overtime with this composition surely here, just because Primo is El Primo, like literally his tank. He has no range. So Chino's going to go for the goal here, just actually get it in time. And Chino, let's just, he's just been cooked. We cooked this monthly final, by the way. So yeah, we'll see what he does in this match. So Sans, he's going to pop his super down there. The Juju pet is going to go all the way in behind. Juju pet's going to be really good against the El Primo. You can see already getting a couple of hits onto him. Maybe could have got a bit more value here, but 45 seconds left for Code OG's team. We've got a Think super that can probably help them score. So it's going to allow them to push up a little bit easier into Larry and Laurie. That's going to be 2 members down. Chino down as well. And that's going to be a tie game with 30 seconds left. And you can see they are waiting down the clock. That is because surely they're more favorable in overtime. They definitely are. I know Stu could get a hypercharge, etc. Primo does have hypercharge, but SSG, they're looking to go now. Well, they actually got to wait for this Juju pet. I bet that's why I was going to say, why did they put Juju pet in behind a lot? It's just to delay the attack, because Primo can't go up until that pet is destroyed by his teammates. So he's had to run back there. That's going to give Code OG a better chance of scoring. So the Primo hypercharge is going to go down. It does miss, but with the 5-star power, which is why I really like it, it doesn't really matter because you can just follow up on the kill anyways and charge through to your next next super. So the twin super going to go down here. Chino getting a lot of pressure here with the Stu, and in overtime Stu's very, very good, and you can see he's popping off like crazy here, getting so much control. Bobby's going to jump in here, get the kill onto OG. He's going to allow for a little bit of space. There's hardly any ammo left on the side of second best team. He does go for the Shadow Realm, and I don't know about that play. In the moment when I was watching it, I don't know what he could have done differently. I guess he was one shot in the end, so he just tried to make a play. I thought maybe he should have just killed the Larry. I don't know whether that was a misplay or not. I don't want to be too critical, but in the moment I was like, why did he shut around the other guy? But I don't know. At the end of the day, I think they probably would have just scored anyways, right? It's probably just been too hypocritical. Hypocritical? I don't even know what the word I'm trying to say. Too critical, sorry, on second best, Daddy Second. We don't want to be too critical on Daddy Second, do we? Because he's the GOAT, and he will haunt me if I say too many bad things about him. So I'm sorry, Second, okay? Right. This time around, though, but definitely, again, we need to swap these matchups as quickly as possible. I bet Juju won't mind it too much, though, because it's against Primo. You are going to be farming your super. At the same time, Bobby doesn't mind. I'm pretty sure he's using the health gear here because he's got a pretty bad matchup. So as El Primo, you know you're not going to get anywhere close to them. So health gear is really good for the reason of just taking a lot of damage and not dying. You can see Bobby was doing that a lot. He was just trying to take a little bit of damage, run back, heal up a little bit, take a bit of damage, run back, heal up. And then by the time he's got a super through, just literally taking that damage. He's also using, I don't know what other, I was using the speed gear as his second gear. I was unsure why he was using it. I probably would have just gone with damage still, or even a supercharged gear, especially in a really, really bad matchup. I'm a terrible Primo, but I think the supercharged gear does help you charge super through taking damage faster as well, I believe. So that could really help them out. But anyways, the Juju Pet's going to push them back a little bit. We're in a really good spot here. We've got second best with his super. Thinks with his super. It's going to be the kill onto Larry, but actually just teleport out straight away. OG's playing Thinks really, really well. One thing that I really like about OG is when a new brawler comes out, he just seems to play it so incredibly well. And that's going to be the goal from Charles. Bit of a wasted gadget, but just making sure. I think he would have scored that anyways. And now there's 50 seconds left. Especially on Super Beach, it is pretty hard to get the ball out of the corner if they can get it there. You can see OG is always trying to get a good positioning for his gadget. I'm seeing him to land quite a little bit here. Really good jump from Bobby there. Unfortunately, his teammates wasn't in position to follow up. I thought that could have actually led to a really good play. Second best with a super here. He's going to try and aim for Bobby. You just know it. Good pinch onto Chino. Ball's going to go into the corner with 25 seconds left. Bobby's going to get taken down by second best. And literally looks like there's nothing that can go right for Space Station in this moment. Juju Pet's going to go down. 15 seconds left. Bobby does have a super though. Chino's going to take down that pet. I feel like they're clumping up a little bit too much, but I don't think it mattered. The ball's going to stay in the corner. Bobby's going to jump in. He's going to get a bit of damage, but yeah, the ball is all the way in the corner. Nothing that Space Station can really do. So much better this time from OG's team. I think they're a lot more calculated. They're a lot more grouped up when Primo jumped in. They just weren't allowing for any space or any flanking. And I just think at the end of the day, I think the Juju is definitely the biggest problem in my eyes. You may not see it, but it's just constant pressure with the long shots. Constant pressure with the pet, not allowing Primo to jump in safely. And the Twins, they can be half decent in the draft, but I just don't really like them as much as I used to. I mean, they make sense in this draft, but get what I mean. They don't have the power or the kind of playing. Although Sans is already just winning his lane and getting a lot of pressure here. But it doesn't really have that kind of power like Gree has, right? Not that the Twins used to have so much power with that super. And there's nothing with the Twins for the longest time. You only really use your super. Well, super gets value against tanks, right? And if the Twins aren't facing off against tanks, you're not going to get your ammo back. So it's a bit of a just meh matchup in my eyes. Right, enough waffling. So, second best, he's going to be happy just sitting here trying to farm his super from the Primo. Again, Primo is going to try and swap matchup onto the throw as much as possible. Just because Cordelis completely hard counters him. Okay, second best's going to go in here. A lot of members weak from SSG. Chino going to get a good wall break. Charles going to go down to Sans as well. Good kill from him. Second best, he's going to go in. Not just yet. Chino's going to be really weak. I don't know how he's still alive. He defended that so incredibly well, all things considered. Bobby's going to be going down really weak as well. The ball is just going absolutely everywhere, and somehow it ends up in the back of the net. I don't even know how that happened, but it happened. It happened. The Primo super, I thought... Like second best jumping in, why is he doing that? And then that just happens. So really well played from him. OG's going to get a lot of damage here. Again, a lot of people forget about the Think super. It does increase your own projectile damage. People forget about that. So if you can quickly preserve your ammo and just burst down people really fast, because it boosts up the projectile speed as well, you can pretty much just delete a single brawler in 1 versus 1. So that's why it's really good. It's just a supercharge rate. It's pretty slow, but it should be because it's such a powerful super. So now the ball is in the corner, 30 seconds left. Bobby's going to get a really good jump onto the Juju, gets a jump onto second best as well. That was actually a really good play from him because I know he could have killed Charles, but Charles was incredibly weak. Chino's going to get the kill here, and he's going to super in time. And that's going to be the goal. What an insane goal from Chino. That is absolutely crazy how they just did that. All odds were against them then. I mean, the play did originate from Bobby jumping in and getting a lot of damage onto both of them. But that's just so clean from Chino. It really is. He's just been absolutely goated this year whenever I've watched him. You love to see it. So now going into overtime. Again, overtime should favor Code OG in my opinion. But if Chino pops off and he's close to hypercharge, then he should be alright. I mean, Bobby's got hypercharge as well. So second best going to try and get in here. Again, the matchups aren't incredibly great here. And OG's going to be careful because if he just shoots Primo without the intention of killing him, then he's just going to feed him the super eventually. So Chino's going to go in with his hypercharge. Bobby's going to get his hypercharge super as well. It's going to be 3 members basically down on SSG's team. Bobby just avoids that shot from Juju there. That could have been just disastrous. I mean, Chino supers it in. So really, really well played from SSG in the end. I mean, all of them played pretty cleanly, but I think Chino definitely making the moments there, scoring the important goals. You love to see it. So that's going to be the first set going SSG's way. What a banger first set. Let's jump into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into set number 2, we have Bounty Shooting Star. So I'm trying to remember this draft off the top of my head. I can't really remember too much, but straight away, it's a decent draft. I don't really like Carl into Gene, but a good call, especially just getting the blue star, can be pretty good. And then Bell is always a good counter to Gene, or just any type of idea. If you want to go like G Max or anything that groups up, then Bell can stop that. So we're going to go with the Melody. So Melody is a great pick in Shooting Star, and I think it's pretty good into Carl. To be honest, you can feed a lot of super from him. And Bell is pretty squishy, so Melody can get a couple of free matchups there. So really good pick from Space Station. And then the last pick is going to be Gus. So Gus is just a good all-rounder. I think most of the other sharpshooters are taken, so that's when Gus is normally picked up. Yeah, they are. So you can see the bans on the right. Those are 3 of the best ones. Nanny's also banned. Artie's also banned as well. So, you know, normally if it's like maybe Byron could have been picked instead of Gus. I think that might have been a bit of a better pick. I mean, Gus is still good, but you get what I mean. I guess they want to go with Gus so the shield can go onto the Melody, so they can just go in a little bit better. And they're going to go with the 8-bit. So it's been a little while since I've seen the 8-bit in Shooting Star, or just in general on like, well, on Bounty. You know, 8-bit's normally a pretty good niche pick, especially with like a sniper and a thrower, something like that. So we're going to go with the 8-bit. So the strategy here is pretty sure that they want Carl to get the mid star, and then just defend the whole game, get your 8-bit turret set up, and just good to go. So Melody can never really get any clean kills if they're all grouped up in the 8-bit turret. You know, Gene again, he's going to struggle to kill any of them because they've all got a lot of HP. And Gus as well, it's going to be hard for them to get clean kills. So the Flying Hook's going to get the blue star straight away. And we can see already OG's team are going on the back foot. They don't really mind too much. They just want to get this turret set up in the back. Bell Trap's going to go down galore. So even if Melody tries to get a kill, then one of the Bell Traps should be able to stop her from tracking. I'm also looking at the Melody notes. So the Melody notes been changed as well. I know her model has been changed, so it's smaller and then a bigger head. But have the notes been changed as well? I feel like they're a little bit more see-through. I don't know if I'm just tripping. So Chino already going to try and get some shots onto its second best. So what I want to watch here is how the Melody plays. Me personally, do you guys do that in esports where if you're bad at a certain brawler, you kind of watch how they play? So you can see Chino here, he knows he's going to struggle to just absolutely get a single kill, but I think what he's doing here, which is really clever, is he's just trying to build up his hypercharge. So he dashes in when he's got no notes, and then just gets a few shots onto the Carl. So you can see he's doing it again. He's got 3 notes here. And then maybe if cycles through super again, gets a good gadget timing. I mean, and that's going to be a really good pull there from Sans. Doesn't actually get the kill in time. But Chino, I don't even know how he just managed to get both of those kills there. I feel like I need to rewatch that and the angles he were getting, because he just melted through both of them. I thought for sure he was dead there, especially when second best supered onto him. That was just absolutely crazy, the amount of damage he just put out onto both of them. So now 28 seconds left here. They just need Actually, no, they need 2 kills. They need 2 kills. This is perfect. As long as Chino stays alive, SSG are looking good. So Bobby has his shield if needed. Chino's now got his hypercharge as well. It's going to be very difficult for them to kill Chino in this moment. So he's going to use his hypercharge super, bait out a little bit from them. Second best is having to gadget out. OG used his hypercharge. Nothing much they can really do. Bobby just goes in to die, to just waste a little bit of time. And SSG are going to win this one. So really well played there. Just think it came down to the moments. Sans on the Gene. Well, it's actually pretty... I forgot. Bobby used to always play the Gene. I remember we used to always have the debate of who was the best Gene in the world, me or Bobby. Even though it's probably Skyrix. But anyways, we used to always have the debate. Now Sans is on it. A bit of a different role there, I think, from Space Station. A bit of a role swap. So... Again, I think it was Chino making the moments. I always thought Chino was a really good player, right? But I didn't realize to pay that much attention to the amount of like game-changing plays he makes. He is that type of guy, especially for Space Station. He's going to be like their... Well, actually, I don't know if Zar played those brawlers. Did Zar play those brawlers? He kind of played the max and the throwers Zar did most time. I think Zar played the most aggro brawlers as well on their team. So he's going to be like their Zar player. He's going to make the pop-off plays and whatever else. So Chino is going to go in... Gets some decent value, but OG's already got his turret set up. So here it's going to be... Oh, okay, Bobby nearly getting the kill. Here it's going to be really difficult for them to get them out the corner because OG can just laser everybody. You know, Gus does some decent damage, but every time that he's going to be one shot, yeah, literally exactly, 8-bit's just going to TP out, and there's not much they can really do. So again, like, Gus is going to take like 3-4 shots to take down that 8-bit turret, and then by that time, you know, OG knows he can just burst down Bobby if needs be. Bobby nearly goes down there. Charles also hits the hypercharge onto the Melody, which is going to be much better than the Gene, because just put it on the brawler that's going to make the most of the plays, and once they get into your face, it's just better. So now Melody can't... Like, it's nearly impossible for her to go in and survive at this rate unless he makes a really good play with a hypercharge. He's going to receive so much damage. So 30 seconds are left here. We've got a Gene pool though to work with. Charles going to go weak as well. Bobby nearly gets that snipe onto Charles, and that would have been a game changing in that moment. I think that's going to be the weakness here. If Bobby can get a good gadget onto either of them, he doesn't want to overextend too much though, because of the amount of damage that 8-bit can put out, especially with the bell as well. And just look at that. They literally looked at Melody for half a second and just deleted her. Sans going to get the pull, which is, I mean, it's a good pull, but he can't really do much against the car with super, and OG's team are going to win that round. So what I'm thinking is that in set number 1, I would have definitely preferred OG's composition with Cordelius and everything like that. So in my mind, and all the pros' minds as well, from what I've seen in the Discord server, definitely had the draft in set number 1. I think in set 2 as well, they definitely have the draft here, which... It's just clear to me, because how can Melody even go in? They've got the value here with 8-bit, everybody. It just looks very, very clear there. They've got the draft, but they just need to make it work out. I mean, Space Station are doing a decent job to get out drafted in the first 2, and then still look like they should be winning somewhat. I mean, with that setup, to be fair, they just look completely screwed. So if they can get the mark onto Melody again, and if they can get this 8-bit turret set up like crazy, like really fast, then what can SSG really do? Like, the only thing they can do is maybe pull the 8-bit turret and break open that left wall. But then what OG's team will do instead is that they'll just go in the right top corner and place another 8-bit. So it's hard. There's not a lot of damage on the side of SSG. I don't know how they could have drafted differently, to be honest. Again, I think the only difference maybe would have been like Byron, because at least Byron, I don't know, has a bit... I don't know, does he have more damage output? I don't really know, to be honest. I just think it would have been able to get more value. But that's going to be a really good pull by Sans, and then Chino comes in and cleans it up, gets a double kill, and then Charles kills him once. So that's just, they just got bountied there. Like, they got two kills, OG's team just got 1, and then they have a lead. That is just as bounty as it gets, and the blue star is going to be on his head as well. So we've got to be a little bit careful here. Again, if Sans gets some good shots and then a gadget, then Charles can be very, very weak. But it's just nearly impossible for Gus to really push up with his 8-bit turret set up. Chino's going to dash in here. He's going to get some decent value. You know what? OG's really weak. We need to try and do something here. So Sans goes for the pull onto the turret. So I think that would have been a good play, maybe with like if he got pulled in the first 30 seconds. But anything after, I would say near the 30-second mark, it wouldn't be worth pulling the 8-bit turret. It's going to take him a long time to build up that super. They just need 1 kill as well, so he probably shouldn't have pulled the 8-bit turret in that instance. 9 seconds left. Bobby's going to get taken down here. Charles is going to be very weak. Chino could maybe go in here, and he just got absolutely deleted again. And yeah, OG's team are going to win that one. So in the end, it did look comfortable in the last 2 sets. I think maybe the only criticism I would say, looking back, is maybe save the gene pool. But at that stage, I think they were just outdrafted, and I don't think they could have really done too much in that instance, bar maybe one of OG's members just overextending too much. So that's going to be the second set, 1-1. Let's jump into the next one. Guys, jumping into set number 3, we have it Gem Grab at Gem Fort. So we can see Badaban's the best picks here. Buster, Bandao, Amber, Sandy, the best picks being Chester, Lumi, and Janet in SSG's eyes. I definitely agree with the Lumi and the Chester. I mean, Janet is a very, very good brawler in Gem Grab as well. But definitely the Chester. Chester has been picked so much in draft right now, especially Brawl Ball, Gem Grab, Hot Zone. Too good in the game right now. So they're going to go with the Jackie and the Jackie and the Grey. Sorry. So Grey, it's a product that's being picked so much in competitive right now. Paired with any sort of tank, it can work out really well, because if the opponents haven't got any sort of big DPS to counter them with, it's nearly impossible to deal with it. Like I was seeing a lot of the time, like people going like Grey Hank into a lot of different things, and it just works out too much, especially because Carl and Stu, like I guess, like Carl gets countered by tanks, right, for the most part, and so does Stu as well. So we're going to go with this Surge. So Surge is an interesting one. Surge has always been good in Gem 4, and we've seen yesterday in Latam that it didn't really work out too much, but I think it could be okay. I don't know. Surge against Tara and then Stu as well. It's given a lot of value to them. I don't know what they could have gone, though. I'm just trying to look through the broader screen what they could have gone into that. But when you think about it, Tara has got a good matchup against Stu and Surge, right? With the pets. And then like Jackie, I guess what they're trying to do is just trying to pinch like crazy because of the Stu and the Surge. I mean, Carl can pinch pretty well as well. I wonder how they'll combat this. So Chino doesn't check the grass, and Charles gets a lot of supercharge already. Bobby already gets a super though and saves him. So in the end, actually really good from SSG. So the job here from the Grey, if you guys haven't seen, it's kind of like a throwback to the meta over a year ago. If you guys remember, Grey was picked so much in Gem Grab because what he would do, he would just set up the teleport so the tank would just go in. So already what I would have done here from OG, I mean, he's playing a good Grey, but I don't really like that teleport setup, because what he should be doing is probably putting the teleport in one of the side grass bits, because now he's like, the tank's going to be exposed like straight away, right? You'd rather just set them down in the grass so they're straight away sneaking up, and then maybe they can just go off to the lane straight away. But in the middle, not really the best setup. I guess I think he just did it in the moment to get it out as quickly as possible. I mean, I can't talk because I'm the worst Grey, but this is just from me looking at things. So Bobby's already got his hype charge here, popping off like crazy here. Gets the kill onto Grey as well. It's not going to mean a whole lot, but at the end of the day, it's still a great kill. The second best going in. It's what I mean. Like the teleport in the middle just leaves him completely exposed. In the middle, Bobby and Sans are having a field day to pinch him straight away. So the hyper charge is going to come down though. It's going to go just outside of the other one. Just so I think the initial setup's okay. Second best going to go in here easily with the hyper charge. Again, if it was a bit different position, he would be a lot more safer. Chino's going to go in here with his super. It's very messy here. Sans going to go in with his super. He knows he can clean up here with a couple more gems, and they're just going to dash out. I just think that I don't know. Okay, they just died there with one gem. I was about to say, I think they really messed up with their setup here, OG's team. It looks very, very messy, but Charles does have his hypercharge super here. They do just need one gem. Bobby can just run up and pick that up. I think they've got enough time here for the reset. I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, they definitely have enough time for the reset. Charles going to go with his hypercharge super, gets the kill onto Chino, and that's more than enough, I think, to be honest, just to get that one kill, give him a bit of breathing space. So OG now needs a couple of gems to win this, but the gem's going to spawn on the other side. It's such a messy game. Second best's going to go in here. He's going to get a lot of damage done, but also because of the heat ejector, he's going to get chipped all the way down to one shot. Now 2 gem lead. Good pull from Charles, but I don't think they have enough time. I think they might just have enough time. They might just have enough time. 3, 2, 1. It's going to spawn just on their side. Luckily for them, Charles gets a good pull, but at the same time, there's no one really there to get the finishing kill. This is absolute crazy. I think I missed this round of this set whilst I was watching live. That's going to be a gem going down, and now it's just going back and forth, but some good kills from Sans. and Bobby. He might go down to the wire here. 30 seconds left. Second best going to go here on Bobby. Great super from him. Second best pulls him in again. Bobby cycled through his super again. And that's looking like a win for SSG surely here. Yeah, there's just nothing they can really do. Actually, wait, we can. Oh, the last gem going to go for SSG. So now 15-14 game. I definitely missed this round. I don't remember watching this one. I remember watching the other two, though. Chino gonna get the kill there. And that's looking all but over. That was such a messy game in the end. That's just how great Jackie games go, to be honest. Sans looks like he's about to have a heart attack. Like, look up, bro. He's so... he's going through the emotions. I feel bad for him. He had a rough year last year. This year hasn't started the best for him. He's probably in his feels right now. So, now, to be honest, I don't know how SSG won that one. To me, it's just a very clear outdraft for OG's team with the Gray and Jackie. Like, Jackie is so good on this map because it's just so hard to deal with the amount of pressure she can provide. And Jackie's a good counter to the Cole right now. That's why you've seen her a lot. Maybe a bit too overplayed by NA. I feel like they've forced it too much in other situations. But overall, it's very good in Gen 4. It's one of the best brawlers in Gen 4 just for the reason of just sitting in the middle. And especially because SSG don't have any wall break. Like, if second best can just get inside that mid like he is right now. And again, that teleport, see... Again, it should have been set up down the lane just because you've seen last game, it just got completely pinched so easily. And he had time to set up that correctly. So maybe, again, just a little bit of bad positioning. But second best gets an easy kill. And he just needs to stay in this pocket here. There's nothing the enemies can really do against that. I mean, he tries to fire, but some good position for second. Just needs to just go back and forth. Just trying to keep them guessing. Charles is in the middle as well. The thing is, as well, is that they've got good defense on OG's side. So even if, say, you know, Bobby, you can see here, literally, you can see if they're flanking round, even if they're flanked round, like, Gray might have a teleport to help him escape. And second best has his super and hypercharge or whatever. Tara will have super most of the time. So they've got good defensive capabilities if they get crept upon. So I think SSG know this. They can't really, like, go in behind. They've got to try and force them out. So... Sans can get in the middle and pick up some gems. That was a really adventurous hypercharge there from Charles and does actually manage to get here. I don't even know how he managed to get a stew. Like, that's one brawl you don't want to be pulling as a Tara because that can go embarrassingly wrong. So second best wants to die here from the fire. Doesn't actually go down because he has got a gem. Somehow SSG have control again. OG's going to teleport in, gets the kill onto Bobby. Really well played there. Charles with another great super here. Doesn't manage to get any gems, but OG, he's going to teleport in onto Chino. Does get the kill as well. He's playing so incredibly well on the Gray with the hooks and the timings of the teleports. But now, I don't think, yeah, SSG cannot equalize the gems, so they need to get a kill. Second best does have one though, so they could potentially do that, but I think even with the missed Tara pull, there's nothing they can really do here. And now OG's team one game away from getting 2-1 up in sets. And again, I just think it's very, very clear the strategy here that they should be able to win this. They really should. Again, as long as they don't make any mistakes or anything like that, they should just be able to waltz through this game, because it seemed clear. Again, whenever I see a team just instantly pick like Gray Jackie or just two brawlers in combination, it normally means they are very, very confident on that pick, and that they, not that they've won no matter what, but in their head they're like, okay, this composition is kind of bulletproof. We've seen this in South America yesterday, where they just instantly picked the two brawlers, so that is why. But now we've got some good positioning from Chino. He's going to go in behind and get a good gadget onto OG. I think OG, wow, he does actually go down, but he gets some good shots onto Sans to cycle his super. Charles going to go in here, get the kill onto Carl. Beautifully played from him. Now we need to try and get in this middle though. So OG again, that's a much better teleport this time. I mean, it could have been maybe a little bit better if I'm being super critical, but still much better than last time. Chino's just waiting for his gadget to one-shot any of them. Carl is so cheesy. But double hypercharge here from Code OG's team. Charles is going to just sit in this pocket. Second best as well. The hypercharge super, I mean, that's in a decent spot, because it basically means that Sans can hardly ever just stay in that middle. I mean, Stu is a good mid-brawler, to be fair, because he's got the dashes to escape if needs be. Charles going to go with a super, but OG actually hooks Chino through the wall, and then Chino gets the fire onto OG as well. That's as disastrous as it gets, to be honest. I don't know how that happened. I mean, that's just poor team communication, but also some poor luck as well. Charles misses the super as well, and that, I don't like... it's just unfortunate, isn't it? I don't like saying, because I know how it feels to make some mistakes, saying they're pure blown like thrown, but that's bad. That is bad, because they just had the win in their hands, and it just seems to really unforced errors as well. I mean, the OG one was poor timing, but it was an error, if you get what I mean. Like, from my side of things, I think it was very clear that the Tara was going to just pull him no matter what. And then OG hooks him towards. Maybe he called it out VC. I don't even know. But these things just can't happen. They just can't happen, because it completely just threw away that set. And it was just... Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. OG's team should definitely be 2-1 up here. But yeah, that's going to be 2-1 Space Station. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, jumping into the fourth set here. One game away from Space Station clinching the win if they really need to. I mean, I don't think their Brawl Cup hopes are that great, to be honest. I think all BC need to do is win their next game after this. So yeah, I mean, Space Station just want to pick up some points, though. Of course they do. So in terms of a draft here, we see Buster early on. I mean, Buster's very good in knockout meta, by the way. He gets a free hype charge pretty much every single round if they're clumping up. That's why they're going to go with a bell. So it means that Buster's not going to get the most value, especially on a map like this. It's actually hard to separate, because on this map, your whole team are going to go down a whole lane. So essentially, Bell's going to get value all of the time here in this matchup. Maybe if it was a different knockout map, I was trying to think, like Flare and Phoenix, for example. I don't think they play that in this comp. But even like out in the open, blah blah blah, you can actually separate a lot more from Buster. But this map you can't really. So we're going to go with the Mandy and the Ollie. So Ollie is a good brawler, but the problem is here is that Daryl counters pretty much all three of them. Daryl's really good into Buster. Daryl's good into Ollie. Ollie can kind of defend himself a little bit if he's using the gadget that... Wait, I'll have a look at the gadget name. I need to learn Ollie's gadget names. Ollie's gadget, so it's not Regulate, no Regulate. All eyes on me. The second gadget, it can kind of stop Daryl from rolling in on him, but Daryl has the second roll. And then they go with a Kenji. So the Kenji, I was like, I was interested to see how the Kenji would work, to be honest, but I think it's not... I think it's a really good matchup here, because Kenji's not really going to get killed too much by the Buster, because Buster likes that kind of damage, especially with Kenji's healing gadget. Ollie as well, kind of just trickle at Kenji, and he can get a lot of value if all of them are grouped up, especially with his super. So I really like Code OG's composition here. I think they have outdrafted them again. So that is 4 sets, 4 outdrafts from Code OG, and second best just going to run in immediately. And I have never seen anyone farm super as quickly as him. And Sam's going to get the pull here. And now it's going to be a 1 versus 1. OG versus Bobby. If only OG had the other gadget here. I love him spamming the emotes. He just knows that this is a clutch moment right here. I mean, to win this would definitely put the momentum in even one of these guys' favor. So Bobby's playing a decent game here. What he's waiting for is his gadget cooldown. I believe OG's getting some good taps. So he's going to gadget and super in. He's going to get the maximum amount of time needed for the pull. And they're going to draw. I remember watching this in the moment like, huh? What just happened? You couldn't write it. 2 literally brothers in the game, essentially, facing off against each other for the first time in a 1 versus 1, and they draw. That is just absolutely hilarious. Charles going to dash in here. Kenji with a super as well. I think second missed most of it, but it's still cycled through super like crazy. I swear second is playing such a beautiful Kenji. Roller here on Charles. He's going to go for another roll on the Mandy, and Chino with the super. That is insane. Again, another moment, if I hadn't watched it for the first time, I would actually just shout it. It was insane. So clutch there from Chino. Again, like, I get what Charles is doing. I think it was a good play, to be honest. I just think Chino just outsmarted him with this super. I think maybe in the long run, I think a Mandy versus a Daryl. I think Daryl should win that if he just goes back and maybe waits for the gas to close in. But I think he senses the moment, and he should have probably killed him if it weren't for such a good Chino play. So now, at this moment, SSG are chilling, because they know they can't lose no matter what. But at the same time, they still need to win another one to win the round. So, but it's a bit of a weird one. I've just never really seen draws and knockouts, what I'm trying to say. So Sans going to try and farm up his hypercharge super here. Just see OG versus Chino. Just try and chip their supers. I think OG just doesn't need to overextend too much because he does want to feed Chino his hypercharge super. Charles has his hypercharge super as well here. So I'm going to wait for the gas to close in. I think the final fight should definitely go towards OG's team, just because of this Kenji, this Daryl. So Charles going to go in here, activates hypercharge pretty late. They're going to get the kills, but the Kenji super is just getting so much value. That was crazy. I just thought Space Station had won that. And then at second best super, it was just way too much. I actually forgot what Kenji was like in Knockout when he was meta, that this happens. I remember actually flashback to Lenane's Kenji. And it's very dangerous. It is a supercharge. That was just slash and dash through every single person. So again here, we're going to go with a triple stack down the right hand side. So I remember the casters laughing because I don't think they've ever seen a draw here. Both teams just having no idea whether the other brawler, the other team are close to them. Second best going to go in here. It's going to get a lot of value. Again, he's just playing absolutely beautifully. So the reason why both teams kind of just crept up on each other there is because neither of them want to shoot. Neither of them want to show their card and show their position. So if they're just kind of both banking on them within that interaction there, Bobby's going to get a really well-timed gadget there. I think he thinks in his head that he's going to kill second best, but second with a gadget that heals him does actually backfire completely. So maybe it was a bit overconfidence there from Bobby because he probably just thought he killed the Kenji. Hence why he went on to the bell. Chino's just trying to get his super up. I don't think there's really any way he can win this one unless... Oh, actually, he nearly got the kill onto OG. I didn't even realize OG was one shot there. That was really, really close. But as the gas closes in here, I think second's just going to go in. He's just going to try and position Chino all the way back. He doesn't want to feed Mandy too much of the hypercharge super. So gets really well played there. Just get his hypercharge super anyway. So that's as good as Chino could have played it. But now OG's team looking pretty good. I don't even know what SSG can really do here. I think they're just relying off Mandy to farm through hype charges and supers to carry on through this because Code OG's tanks are just way better than SSG's tanks. So they're just going to check all of the bushes here, make sure nobody is creeping up. And it looks like both teams are just going to wait it out again. I mean, we have Buster's hypercharge, we have Mandy's hypercharge, we have Charles's hypercharge probably going through pretty soon. What can they even do? Both teams just kind of knowing this. It's awkward to watch. I mean, what can they really do in Knockout? It's boring for the spectators, but it does make sense for both teams to do this. So yeah, the final circle is just a moment. You can't really predict what is going to happen in the final circle. It's if Chino lands his hypercharges, and that's going to look good for them. If Charles gets some good supers with his Daryl roll, some good knockbacks, etc., then it's going to be good for them. Kenji will clean up. 62nd best already trying to position himself up here. What second best trying to do is clump them up all together, getting good position here. The battle traps are going to be positioned really well as well. Sans already taken a lot of damage before that hypercharge, and Chino's going to basically miss all of that hypercharge. Mandy's super second best in a 1 versus 1 versus Bobby, and it just almost looked too easy for Code OG there. They see the strategy endgame. They're just going to win pretty much every single time as long as they don't make any errors. Charles goes in first, gets a bit of damage with his Daryl, knocks him back. Second best goes in to clean up. OG's just tapping them as they all group up. It just looks like a flawless strategy, and again, I just don't see how SSG can really win this without any big errors from Code OG's team. So again, some good taps from the bell. And you can see here already getting the super because of the amount of times they were ricocheting against each other. And now SSG are forced to try and switch down this left lane. But Code OG, they're not allowing that to happen. So really well played here. The problem is they've got to be careful that one of them isn't absolutely isolated because Bobby or Sans could pull them in and get destroyed. So now Daryl has a super, so that's okay. If I was Charles, yeah, I'll just run back. I wouldn't want to feed too much of their supers. Just wait until endgame again here. Chino isn't even getting close to his super. Another bell trap, which is going to help them in the late game. I think Space Station have realized that the end game isn't going to go in their favor, so they need to try and make the first play. They need to try and like get a bit of chip damage, and they need to. That's the only way they're going to win this, right? So we can see that desperately trying to get some type of damage down. So Charles, he's going to go on the far left here. Second's going to go in pretty early on. His gadget though from Bobby is going to be devastating. Charles going to roll in here, the double freeze, and Space Station are actually going to win that one. They're going to win that battle. I don't know why they're saying GG game. Yeah, I was about to say, if you only won one round. I thought I was tripping there. They won one round. Calm down, game. Calm down. So I think the big problem there is that second best went in before Charles, which I don't think is what they would have wanted. I mean, maybe if second got a super off, it would have looked a little bit better. But again, you want Charles to go in, do the dirty work, get as much damage as possible, and then the Kenji super always finishes things off. So now in a tough position here for OG's team. Looks like SG are already trying to go on the front foot a little bit. Again, I'm just kind of waiting. I feel like I should just skip most of these rounds because like nothing is happening, but I'm scared something will happen the second I skip, so I don't really want to do anything. So yeah, Bobby's just trying to push forward. I think he wants OG to shoot him. Yeah, look, he wants OG to shoot him to try and build up some super some super damage. That's absolutely hilarious. But now another gadget here from Bobby, and that's just really good plays there from SSG. Charles has his hypercharge ready. He's going to go in on the Mandy, just get the kill. OG's going to get some good taps in. Charles with some really good supers. OG in a 1v1 versus Bobby again, and he can't clutch it this time around. So that was, I don't know how to really commentate over that. I thought that both times I think second got caught by that Ollie gadget and there's nothing they could do. They were all grouped up. So I'm interested to see what mid-set adjustments happen from both teams here. It's kind of this little chess game that's happening. They're both like trying to make small little adjustments mid-game to get a different position on the map, and we'll see how second best does it this time around. I'll be interested to see. I think he's got to stay away from them until Charles goes in. I think it's just because he's too vulnerable. If he gets pulled in, he can't activate his gadget or anything like that. That's how Kenji survives. At least with Daryl, he's got his star power that keeps him alive for a little bit if he does get pulled in. So again, SSG are going to go on the offensive much more this round. They're kind of sus their strategy as much as possible. Daryl going to go in here, but that's going against two of them. But you can see here the Daryl roll actually causes them so many problems. Like all three of them was shooting at Charles and they could still not kill him because of that star power and also the damage reduction when you just roll in anyways. That was crazy. And luckily OG's team, well, not luckily, it was good team play. They've recognized that he was going to get pulled in, so they'd followed up, made sure to get at least a trade. Well, we're way better than a trade. And now they need to win this next round. They do, obviously they lose, so it's do or die right now for Code OG. Bobby's going to take a much more advanced position. It's much better played from SSG this time. They're not just going to wait. It's going to sit more so in the middle and try and get that mid position as early as possible, which I definitely like much more than last time. Kenji doesn't have super. That's the only thing going towards SSG's way here, because we've got a Daryl hypercharge, so how devastating that normal super was when timed correctly. Chino hasn't got hypercharge either, and again we're just waiting for the gas to close in. We'll see second best, he's trying to go upwards here. I think he senses Bobby's a little bit weak. I think that's going to be the general. Yeah, I'll be careful here. We've got two pull gadgets, but now that means Chino's going to be isolated. But now they're all cornered up. I don't really like this from SSG as super. It's going to get so much value when they're all just cornered together, and this is looking like it's going to be Code OG winning this one. So that was really interesting there. So we saw the bait this time from second best. Sans and Bobby thought they could quickly get him, but then what that allowed to happen is Mandy was isolated. Mandy then had to run to his teammates, and then second just got insane value with a super. Just cleaned them all up. That was really, really well played there. So that's going to be the fourth set. It's 2-2. Let's jump into the fifth and final set. All right, guys, jumping into the fifth and final set. We have Dueling Beetles Hot Zone. So I had to what to say. I was actually proud of this one, because I literally predicted every single brawler one by one. I wish I was recording this. I should have just recorded it. I should have known it was going to be a banger matchup, and I would have looked like the smartest person in the world. So Hank first pick. Hank is very good combined with like a Gray, Berry, Barley, whatever it be, Poco, etc. So Hank's just really good in the meta right now. Very underrated by the majority of the play base. It's only really like insane in pro play. So we're going to go with a Draco into this. So Draco Berry is a really good composition to have, but the problem is here they've left open the Barley. So straight away in this position you see Berry. You just want to go Barley. It's one of the best counters you can go, because if everyone's grouping up on the Berry super, well, a Barley super will flush that out, and Barley will have an incredible hypercharge. So I just want you guys in the comments, if you're still making it this far to the set 5, I want you to say who has draft set 5, because this caused a lot of opinions on Twitter, I've seen basically every single EU pro say that Code OG has draft. I think they have draft at the end of this. I think personally, it's a very good Brawly game, but I still think they have the draft if they play it correctly, because you'll see it in a second. So I'm going to go with the Barley. I pretty much predicted the Jackie as well here, but just because NA love the Jackie, and Jackie's just overall good for pressure, and I think they wanted to go that to stop the... Oh, I forgot off the top of my head what I wanted to stop. But to be honest, I think that was the only Brawl I didn't predict was Jackie, because on an open map, I was like, why would they go with Jackie? Surely there's something that they can shut them down with. And then straight away, I was screaming Frank. Straight away, Frank is a great brawler to counter this matchup, in my opinion. Again, I'm not the pro. A lot of pros were debating it, though, and I've seen pretty much every single EU pro was saying that Code OG had the draft. It's not like a crazy out draft, by the way. I just think they have draft, just a little bit, because Frank counters the Hank completely. Again, I know this after playing so many thousands of hours on Hank. Frank can just destroy Hank. Destroy. Literally so free, especially with either gadget, but especially with the pool gadget. And then Frank can open up the map against the Barley. And then, of course, completely hold counters Jackie. Always has been, literally since competitive days, all the way back into 2019. Frank would always counter Jackie. It's just one of the easiest matchups for Frank. So personally, it looks pretty difficult. I think OG, from what he said on Twitter, they were stressed about the Barley pick, because Barley is very good into Berry, but I think if you change... Look, both teams look stressed. It's very evident. Both teams look stressed, and both teams probably feel like they don't have composition in this stance. But I'm still going to firm it and say that Code OG's team, they probably have like a 60% draft, in my opinion. At worst, it's an even matchup. Both teams can win, at worst, in my opinion, just because Draco's going to get so much value against both of these tanks. Both of these tanks don't really do anything into Draco, in my opinion. He's going to get unlimited supers. So a good first super there from second best. That's going to be a great opening. We need to try and get on this zone as much as possible. But here, this is what I'm talking about with the Berry. So that play just didn't make any sense. It was just way too aggressive on the Berry. You want to like super backwards most of the time, or just try and stay alive. So just go down there. Fortunately, second best does clean up. OG had an absolutely blinding game here. He can push up like crazy. I mean, the Barley super's going to push them back a lot. Second best gets a lot of value, but the healing from the gadget is just too much. Bobby already has his hypercharge super, but again there, the hypercharge super just too aggressive from the Barley in my eyes. Berry, sorry, too aggressive. He dies. Again, it could have maybe gone backwards to the side, something like that. So second best doing a really good job this first round. I forgot how well he was playing this first set, but here should definitely look trying to heal up. He keeps shooting, but should look to heal up here. Charles should probably... there's nothing much they can really do, but it's a bit of a wasted time there from OG's team. Now, SSG have their setup. They have another Barley super. Sans was playing this absolutely beautifully. They go with their wall break here, which is fine, but another Berry death there. And this is just the reason why I think Code OG had draft, because, I mean, I'm not saying that Charles is throwing it. It's just if Berry dies, it kind of defeats the point of their composition. Because see, OG here is going absolutely crazy. You see how easy it is to cycle with Draco effectively against their composition. The super goes down from second best, does unfortunately miss, and then the Chino in behind gets a beautiful Jackie super. And I think like this game was incredibly winnable for OG's team, like insanely winnable. They should have definitely won that game. If you look at the errors, again, I don't want to be too critical. I'm not being like really harsh. I'm just saying, like, personally, I just think the errors were the reason why they lost that, not the set, not the draft, sorry, because the Jackie got in behind. You can't be letting that happen with a Jackie. And then, you know, I missed Frank super, unfortunate, after second played so well. And then the Berry dying too much. So, I mean, SSG win this, which is fair enough. They definitely deserve to got some good plays. Bobby was cycling through Hank supers like crazy, which you love to see. On the Hank, OG gets the kill onto Jackie. But again, this is such a good Draco game. He has infinite supers. There's nothing that's stunning him. There's nothing that's stopping him from literally, other than his Jackie super can stop his super. That's about it. That's literally about it. But as long as you're disciplined against the Jackie, you're good to go. So Chino's going to push up here again. I think second best first goal here should be trying to break open these first set of walls. A good super this time from Charles. Very good super. Now he's in behind, and the gadget as well. He's got a hypercharge already, so definitely much better played from Charles there. Really good. I don't know the ins and outs of the Berry versus Barley matchup, but my guess is trying to spread out a little bit more than usual maybe. But Chino's playing so well on his Jackie, by the way. In behind so many times. And yeah, the wall isn't completely broken here. which is not the best for Code OG. OG gets a really good super though onto Bobby. He is timing these supers really well, by the way. If you shoot your main attack and then super, you get a little bit of extra supercharge when you're in dragon form, which is actually very, very vital because you want to cycle through your supers as much as possible to heal you up consecutively. So now this percentage is still going OG's way, but again, another super onto, I don't know what else he could have done. But again, it just looks a little bit disjointed here. SSG have full control. It's looking pretty bleak for them at the moment. OG with another well-timed super. Second best going to go in, but the hypercharge is just going to do absolutely nothing. The Charles super going to be decent for the Frank. OG's doing his best as much as possible. He's getting so much damage onto Bobby Sands. The hypercharge super going to come down here, but the flush out from Barley is actually going to cycle through to basically another hypercharge here, which is absolutely insane. It looks like they could definitely mount a bit of a comeback here. Charles with a super just misses out Bobby there, gets the kill as well, and it's looking like a good comeback. But to be fair, all SSG have to do here is just wait for all of them to respawn and just run onto the zone. Second best with another hypercharge here. I don't think they've got enough damage to really stop Chino. Bobby's just going to run in with the amount of HP he has, and that's going to be the set going towards SSG. So really well played from them in the end. I think that second game was definitely a lot more convincing. I don't think, really personally, there was a lot of like big errors from OG's team. I think it was just more so closing out that first round of that set, which just really bugged something into me, because I was like, come on, like, you could have won that one, but small mistakes really costing them in the end. So I think personally OG's team had 5 out of 5 drafts, maybe even 4 out of 5. So if anything, that just goes to show that Space Station played really well even after getting out drafted. Hot Zone up for interpretation. I think personally that it was much, like, maybe it was 50-50 if I'm just being totally honest. Like, both teams could have won that one. I see like the argument against that. These are the kind of conversations I really like though when we're talking about draft. And I know a lot of people hate draft stars and Brawl stars, but I like seeing like which team has draft, you know, debating, talking what they could have gone, etc. But that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. It was an absolute banger of a game. Congratulations to Space Station to making it to the semi-finals, but of course we'll watch the grand finals on our main on our second channel. It'll be Tribe. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.